Alrighty folks, so guys, here is going to be the full video of putting up this web wire, and I hope you can see it there. So here's the thing, like I said, my mom has been liking having the chickens, but she just doesn't like having them on the back porch. Now the chickens, and especially the ducks, are going to be rather loud today. Why? Because I didn't let them out this morning. She told me I didn't need to free range these things anymore. So I'm going to have a solution. At least I hope it's going to be a solution. So this is kind of like an electric fence with stakes. Don't need that anymore. Actually, yeah, we do. There's still a couple things in there. Stay. Okay, so you can electrify this. I'm going to try not to electrify this to begin with, at least. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, so these are some other stakes, and let's take a look. So here's my plan. I'm going to come off of here. This is the side door I've been letting them out, and basically I've got 120 foot of this, so we'll see if we can make do. I can make different shapes, different sizes of this pen, and first off, I'm just going to try to see if they stay. They stay in their pen now, which has a roof and locks and keys and all that, so I could see why they wouldn't stay. This doesn't have a roof. You can see kind of how tall it is. For reference, I'm 6'3". It comes up to my hip. It's about, I guess, 36 inches or so. But let's take a look. Okay. My mercy. All right. So let's see here. Let's take a stake. Now I'm going to have to stop and start this video again and again. And that was pretty simple. Oh, geez. That's kind of like not tall. Well, maybe it will be. So I'm going to make different shapes and such and kind of come out. 120 feet I can do a lot with. This is going to give them a good range, I think. So basically, I think it's going to work. Let me know in the comments if you think it's going to work. But really, truly, you don't know until you try. And this is actually doing okay. I'm not really getting these things twisted too bad, I don't think. Jeez Louise. The more I pull this out of this wrap, the bigger it seems to get. This thing did come undone. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me move you fine people over. That way you can continue to see the process. Let's see here. So, I'm thinking for this first time, I'm going to let them just kind of come out, walk around. Now, we've had one of these in the past for goats and such. Seemed to work pretty good. I'm going to try to just keep getting this thing as tight as possible. Okay, maybe it'll get tighter as we go. Who knows? I remember the goats, they didn't really respect it. We had it electrified too, like a hot fence, and it just, I guess it never got hot enough for them. So, oh, we got our first twist. Okay, there we go. So one thing I like about this, and no, I'm not sponsored by the company that makes this. I don't even know who makes this. The lady at the feed store just told me I needed to get it. My stars, I didn't pick the nicest spot to put that one. So, gonna try to just make it come around that pin primarily. And I'm really hoping that top gets a little tighter. Oh, geez. Who even had this idea, Will? Oh, that's right, I did. All right, another twist. And so I'm gonna try to just take and make this different areas. You know, let them have a little grass this day, change it up, go to a different spot. I don't really want to hit these things with a hammer, which I'm assuming you might could, but these are kind of plastic stobs, so I'd hate to break the tops out of them. I think I just made that worse. Whoopsie daisy. Nope, we're good. We're good. What? Hold on. Now we're good. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, I need to keep going. I need to start making my way back towards the coop instead of just making it farther and farther away, because if I don't have it, then they would have a hole and, you know, they would get out. I want them to have some sunshine, but then again, I want them to come back where they can get more in that shade area. Has anybody ever used, answer me this in the comments, has anybody ever used one of these with chickens? I hope these are gonna be tight enough on these web wire areas to where they won't get through it. They are kind of big, but it did say it would work for them, so let's be hopeful. This is the one that came apart. Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to hit those with a hammer. I was afraid those little suckers would just pop off and then not be good for really anything else. Okay. I didn't really think there was really any good way to unroll this sucker. Primarily because, well, y'all kind of saw how it went. So I'm heading back towards the house. As y'all might have seen in my previous videos, there is a pear tree right there that kind of sits behind their house. I kind of want them to have some shade of that. They've been going all up under it, the ducks especially. But let's take another look. Keep wanting to move y'all around so that way you can see everything. And it's just me making all of this. So let me zoom in for you. It's just me making all this. I got my little stand set up. And also, I really hope you will like and subscribe. Trying to grow this platform. Okay, so need to come back around on this one. All right, now this one is kind of the end, it seems like. Perfect, this is gonna match up great. Sweet. So this seems to be where either you would end it or you would link it up to another one. It did say that you could do that. Okay, now, how in the world am I gonna get those top pieces to get a little tighter? This is all tied here. Huh, some areas it is. Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna take and see if I can move this one back. This seems to be the problem. I can feel it tighten it up on the bottom, but the top's still a little loose. So, slide this one back as well. Oh, super tight on the bottoms. Just worried about that top end. Huh. Maybe, just maybe, like, this is not really, this might be where those stakes come in. I probably should have read the directions. Do you people read directions or no? Okay, here's a look right here so far. Let me zoom out for you. So we kind of come around, have a decent sized area. It said you can make 36 square foot or so. Then back here towards the house. Gonna let out that side gate. So, let me see if these directions, okay, well, on the picture it shows that's kind of what it looks like. I'm more of a picture guy than I am like actually read them. So give or take. I'm gonna move this here to this edge. That way we don't have as much gap at the top. Probably need to come a little more. Okay, a little gap at the bottom, not as much at the top. Okay, that actually did pull it together a little tighter. See, the thing is I'm really tight at the bottom and not very tight at the top, just in kind of these couple areas, which I'm hoping they won't mind. I wish I had another stake to maybe pick this up with, in which they didn't have any extra spares. They just kind of, what was in there is what they had. So I guess the moment of truth, let's let these little boogers out. Again, I'm not gonna make this an electric fence yet until maybe I have problems, either from the chickens and all, or if I have some coyotes or whatever show up. Just kind of undoing their box. And here they are, fixing to come out. Now these things have been flying some, not too much. Like I said, I'm hoping they're just gonna see the fence, but you get to see it with me. They're excited to go. They've been in their house far too long. This is day number 6 of turning them out. So they're getting kind of used to getting out. That's why they were balking. I think that's the correct term for that. So let's push them around some. And I've got 2 side doors that I can do that with. Or I can come out of that front door as well and just kind of take them. The only thing I worry about is, yes, they're a little bigger, but if they tuck those wings and try to get out. But I have seen, you know, this work on other spots. I don't, like I said, I don't want to electrify it just yet. I want to see if they can do it without causing any issues and seeing that, hey, look, this is a fence. I don't need to get over this, but we shall see. The ducks are a lot of fun. And I got some other baby chicks in here. I've been having to knock on this door solely because if they, uh-oh. So I've got this block in here as well to cover up that little small gap. And they're all hiding over there. And there we are. 4 ducks, about 12 guineas, and then several other chicks in there as well. So they're hollering. They want to get up under their tree. I kind of want them to do this. So like I said, I'm gonna let them have different spots, and I close these things up at night as well before I had the fence. So that way they're just protected. They understand that's their home with it, and I leave the door open all day. If they want to get shade, if they feel like a hawk's coming in or whatever. Yeah, go ahead, duck. Show us who the boss is. So I let them go back in their house, and then at night I close them up. I did have in the past when I had chickens where I wouldn't close them up at night. I let them hang out wherever they were, and then they just lose the fact of, hey, that's their home. So by keeping this pretty steady, closing them up, yeah, there we are. I just basically let them do what they want during the day, close them up at night. They know that's where they need to go. That way they're not in the way they don't need to be. They're not, when they get older, like I said, these are not laying yet. These are big enough to get out. They've got all their feathers, but they're still a ways away. I actually did pretty good. I got 1 rooster. Why are you trying to eat that? What are you doing? That's not for you to eat, bro. I got 1 rooster, 11 hens out of this, and then I've got 1 drake and 3 hens out of that. So I'm super excited. I've never had a drake before, and I think that's really exciting because I can make some baby ducklings. I'm hoping. So I've never raised any of those. I've only had hens, but I've had several roosters in the past. Geez, I've had a bunch of roosters over my time raising chickens. So, guys, I'm just going to leave it to you there. I'll let you know kind of in another video how it's holding up. Like I said, I'm going to let them have this for a little bit. I might put some pressure on them here in a little bit and see if they're going to test that fence or not. But I just want to let them have this area for a while. And here again, here's a look. It's just kind of pretty simple and easy. Just an easy little deal. They went back in the house over in there. But a nice little area, and I can change that. So that way, You know, they're eating in different spots. This grass can grow back. I'm surely excited for this. I am. I'm excited that maybe they will not get around the house anymore. So, maybe so. Okay, here, hold on, time out. I'm seeing this, okay? This is kind of threaded through. I'm wondering, yeah, that might be it. Okay, I'm wondering if I need to take this top off and rethread this little post right here, to that way the wires are on the outside. Okay, let me try that and see, and I will let you guys know if that works. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and man, get you some chickens. You'll have a blast with it.